up on this edition of Hawkeye News.
With the new year comes new changes inside Red Oak ISD. As we reported last month, Mr. Craig Stockstill was selected by the Board of Trustees from dozens of candidates for the job of Superintendent of Schools. Find out what our new district leader had to say coming up.
Plus, after months of anticipation by students and staff members, the new Career and Technology building is now open for business at Red Oak High School. We'll take you inside to show you some of the new areas students and teachers are enjoying. Details straight ahead.
And later, Hawkeye News reporter Camille Webster shows us how Chronicle newspaper reporter Miss Leanne Brindle is helping one special young man at Wooden Elementary through the love of animals. Coming up, we'll meet Andy and learn more about his new best friend, Ty.
Also, the Hawkeye News team prepares to go on tour. Christian Brady and myself and other members of our staff here at Hawkeye News will be talking to the students in the district about leadership and teamwork, as well as answering questions about our show. We'll have details on how you can have the Hawkeye News team visit your classroom coming up.
And finally, it has been called one of the most entertaining nights of the year. The Project Success Drug Education Program once again will try to pack the Red Oak High School cafetorium for this year's 2005 Mr. and Mrs. Red Oak pageant.
All coming up next on this edition of Hawkeye News.
You're watching Hawkeye News with Christian Henson, Natalie Hillary, Sports with Brady Sapp, News coverage from the Junior High Bureau with Lexi Belote, plus academic and student life reports with our Hawkeye News team. Hawkeye News.
Leadership you can depend on.
Welcome to this first edition of Hawkeye News for January 2005. I'm Christian Henson.
And I'm Natalie Hillary. It's good to be back in the studio after a long winter's break. The holidays are over and it's back to work. We hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas holiday and are looking forward to a happy new year.
That's right, Natalie. Hawkeye News is back with more stories and information students can use. We are committed to bringing you the great news around Red Oak ISD and the community.
We begin our new season in 2005 with this month's top stories.
With the new year comes new changes inside Red Oak ISD. The highest profile new face in Red Oak is our own new superintendent of schools, Mr. Craig Stockstill, who officially took over on January 3rd. Mr. Stockstill is already hard at work learning all about Red Oak ISD, and we at Hawkeye News are proud that our past news shows have been used to help get Mr. Stockstill up to speed with many great things going on around our district. Mr. Stockstill will soon move into his new home in the area, and will be looking forward to the end of the school year when his wife Kathy, who is completing her contract as a teacher at Poth ISD, will join him. Mr. Stockstill brings a great deal of leadership skills and a reputation as a hard worker who sets high goals and standards for his staff and students. Mr. Stockstill has made it clear that he expects Red Oak ISD to be tops in academics, athletics, and all other educational areas.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to address the student body and the rest of the school district, and I'm real excited about being here. My mission to come to Red Oak ISD is to talk about excellence, And I don't mean just about test scores. I know you have an outstanding student body here, and the test scores indicate that. But there are a number of other things that compile excellence. And over the next few months, I'm going to be visiting campuses and asking for student and teacher and parent input on defining excellence. And so my challenge to you all is excellence and finding out how we're going to be excellent and how we get there, and you helping me define that. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you all, and have a good rest of the school year.
It is again evident that Mr. Stockstill is eager to lead Red Oak ISD even higher in the future. He will have some really big decisions ahead, as he must choose a new head football coach, athletic director in the coming months, just to name one important item on his agenda. We again would like to welcome Mr. Stockstill and look forward to reporting on more great news from the superintendent's office.
After months of anticipation by students and staff members, the new Career and Technology building is now open for business at Red Oak High School. The new Career and Technology building is quickly becoming one of the most popular areas around school, as students in auto tech, computer repair, and cosmetology, just to name a few, are able to spread out and get to work. The building also houses art classrooms, as well as science labs and more. We look forward to hearing much more detailed information from cosmetology, auto mechanics, computer repair, and more in future editions of Hawkeye News. We would like to thank the leaders of our district for making such an important commitment, as well as to the voters of Red Oak ISD who supported the bond package that allowed this building to become an educational reality.
In a follow-up to an important construction project in our area, we go now to Hawkeye News reporter Tamara Llewellyn, who is standing by the recently completed Ovilla Road Bridge in Ovilla, to bring us up to date on the story that rocked our community back in July. Tamara?
That's right, Christian Nally. July 29th was known as one of horror and tragedy for two men who lost their lives where the Ovilla Road Bridge once stood and now stands again. The last time I stood here in September, construction vehicles and roadblocks took up most of the landscape. But today you can see the road to Midlothian and Waxahachie once again is highly traveled to and from Red Oak. The Ovilla Road Bridge was officially opened before the holidays, much to the thrill of local residents who traveled this road on a daily basis. The bridge was officially rededicated in a ceremony last month when Mayor Turner and several local residents and dignitaries cut the ribbon on the new state-of-the-art bridge. The bridge is much wider and of course much sturdier than the old bridge that was washed away in the flood. TxDOT officials were very excited that the bridge opened over a month earlier than the target date. At the dedication ceremony, many spoke in remembrance of Mr. Watson and Mr. Sawyer, who lost their lives in the rushing waters in July. While those precious lives can never be given back, the rebuilding of this bridge is the first step in putting this local tragedy behind us and moving on to happier times. This bridge facilitates students going to and from school, sporting events, parties, and other areas of fun, and we are proud to report the Ovilla Road Bridge is back open for business. Thanks to Chief Moon for providing us information for our earlier story, and to all who worked hard on the project to keep the traffic flowing. Reporting from the Ovilla Road Bridge in Ovilla, I'm Tamara Llewellyn, Hawkeye News.
Another big change coming soon for Red Oak High School will be the hiring of a new head football coach and athletic director. After the resignation of Coach Dwayne Osborne, school officials had to act quickly to start looking for Coach Oz's replacement. This month, we asked our West Campus reporter Katie Stanglin to leave the hallways of the WC to find out more on what Hawks sports fans can expect in the coming months. What's the latest, Katie?
Hello, Red Oak High School. This month at the West Campus, I'll take you on an inside look at the process of finding a new athletic director / head coach with our very own assistant principal, Mr. Mike Burns. As of now, the committee that is choosing the finalists for the new AD / head coach position have approximately 115 applicants. The committee will meet to begin the process of narrowing down to 6 or 8 applicants to send to the new superintendent, Mr. Stockstill. This will take more than one meeting. Mr. Burns, how many applications have you had for the new athletic director position?
We've had approximately 115 people apply, and we've closed the deadline for accepting applications as of midnight on January 19th. There are 12 members of the committee. We have some administrators, some board members, some parents, teachers. We tried to get every aspect of the community represented within those 12 people. We're hoping that at the absolute latest, we should have somebody in place by spring break.
We would like to thank Mr. Burns for taking time out of his busy day to come and speak with us. We will be reporting on the new AD in the near future. Well, that's it for this month at the WC. I'm Katie Stanglin, Hawkeye News.
Thanks, Katie. We will keep up with this developing story in the coming weeks ahead, and will bring our viewers the latest news as final decisions are made. We look forward to welcoming the new head Hawk for Red Oak High School athletics.
While the holidays and some computer glitches have kept us from hearing about all the great news from our elementary schools, we did have a few stories submitted for this month's elementary report. At Shields Elementary, Ms. Temple reported that Shields Elementary PTA is sponsoring a new program at Shields called Principal's Coffee. This lets parents come into the school library for coffee and donuts and a time to chat with the principal, Tina North. This is a time of discussion and a time for parents to ask questions. The Shields Elementary staff wishes to extend their deepest sympathy to the North family. Jerry Ann North passed away in December after a long and courageous battle with cancer. She was the principal secretary at Shields for 15 years and then went on to be the assistant director of the Education Foundation. She was a wonderful lady and will be deeply missed. The first graders at Eastridge Elementary recently took a trip to the Galleria Mall to see Rumpelstiltskin. It was a wonderful experience for the students, who all seemed to have a great time. The students, according to their sponsors, enjoyed the matinee performance. After the play, the students walked to McDonald's in the mall for lunch. The field trip was paid for by money raised from the Original Works fundraiser. We would like to thank Ms. Pitts for submitting the story and photographs. Due to technical difficulties, we are unable to bring you stories this month from Woodin or Red Oak Elementary. Hawkeye News apologizes, and we look forward to catching you up on the wonderful things happening in the elementary schools next month.
As one of our new segments we began in December, we once again take a look back to those innocent days of 6th grade when we all had high goals for our future to see if you can tell who these 2005 seniors are from the Project Success Future presentations video.
I'm 11 years old now and I'm a roper. I've done a lot of things in my life. Some were good and some were bad. When I was a little girl, about age 7, I started a club called the Red Oak 4-H Club. I think I found my greatest achievements working in the 4-H. It took me from shyness and it showed me a lot about myself I didn't even know.
In the future, I hope to go to college. I will try hard to get a scholarship for playing basketball. I also hope to play in junior high. I hope to be a cook or architect and have a 130-room house. I also want lots of animals. In school, I don't get in trouble a lot. I have never had any detention yet.
While I'm in high school, I would like to join the rodeo team and FFA. I would like to be in baseball and football, take part in school productions and field trips. I would also like to write for the newspaper like my brother. He also was in powerlifting and I would love to do that.
When I get older, I hope I'm a basketball player and a baseball player. I know I won't do drugs. I hope I own a bazillion cars. Jared will probably still be my friend unless he's in the army or something like that. I'll have 15 dogs, all different breeds, and Chad West and I are going to fix up an old Mustang. My life is going to be great. I can't wait to see what happens. I'll be rich, smart, athletic, and have friends. If all goes as planned, I'm going to live the perfect life. Watch me rule the world.
Well, did you figure out who these students were? We will have the answer at the end of our show, and seniors, keep watching. You might see a familiar face from your past on one of our future editions of Hawkeye News later this year.
We have lots of talent around Red Oak High School. You can just watch the Mighty Hawk Band, our theater arts students, drill team, cheerleaders, auto tech students, and much more. But some of our students have talents that many of us don't even know. Our photojournalist, Curtis Kelsey, brings us a story on some guys that fit the category. Curtis, what do you have for us?
That's right, ladies. One of the best kept secrets around our school is just how musically talented some of our fellow students are. I caught up with a few of these guys whose passion is making music. Many of us know Brandon Scott, Ben Edwards, and Bobby Karwalski, but did you know these 3 guys make up the band known as Tri-State Heartache? These guys have been playing together for about 8 months now and have been invited to play at places such as the Across the Street Bar, the Door, the Galaxy Club, Dream World, and locally at the Refuge Coffee House, as well as playing many private parties. Their brand of music is punk, and these guys work hard after school and on weekends practicing in Brandon and Bobby's garages. When asked what their future goals were, they said they wanted to record a CD and continue to play bigger venues. Bobby plays drums for the band, and these 3 Red Oak High School students hope to one day make a name for themselves in the world of music. Each of these students are very involved in school and extracurricular activities. With their drive and determination, you just might see these guys playing at the American Airlines Center someday. We wish these guys the best of luck in their music careers, and if you would like to catch them live, check with them for the next upcoming show. Reporting for Hawkeye News, I'm Curtis Kelsey.
It is once again time to check in with our junior high correspondent, Lexi Belote, to see what is going on at Red Oak Junior High in 2005. Lexi?
This month, we take a look at results from good deeds that started at Red Oak Junior High and have moved all the way to Afghanistan, as well as UIL preparing to compete in academic competitions in this month's Junior High interview. Before the holidays, Ms. Sheila Sherman, an administrative assistant at Red Oak ISD, brought us a few photos and a video of what your good deeds have done so far away. With the help of her husband, Lieutenant Osama Ishmael, Ms. Sherman helped get the supplies and gifts from Red Oak Junior High all the way to Afghanistan. Lieutenant Ishmael took the time to give out the t-shirts, school supplies, and other gifts sent from Red Oak Junior High to the children in this war-torn region. Thanks to Red Oak Junior High, and special thanks to Ms. Sherman and Lieutenant Ishmael for helping our students help others. Lieutenant Ishmael returned to Afghanistan after 2 weeks of rest and relaxation. Lieutenant Ishmael and his wife appeared on NBC5 over the holidays as he departed on Christmas Eve.
It's been 2 weeks for my R&R. It's never enough to be with family. However, I have other family over there to take care of.
Where's Daddy going?
To the Army.
To the Army. Right now, just thinking about him leaving, and so I don't think so much about it being Christmas Eve.
To say it's unfair to go, we are soldiers, we are 24/7 soldiers, and we're ready to go at all times.
We had our Christmas early last weekend, so in a way it feels like Christmas is already over, but Santa's still going to come see our daughter tonight.
We send Lieutenant Ishmael our best wishes and pray for his safe return. That's it from the junior high. I'll see you next month, and until then, reporting for Hawkeye News, I'm Lexi Below. Back to you, Christian and Natalie.
This month's District in 60 Seconds is brought to you by Red Oak Car Wash, located at 311 East Ovilla Road.
Happy New Year, everyone. Hopefully you had a restful holiday season. But now it's time to get back to work. And this month we take a look at Hawkettes on Parade, t-shirt winners, and more awards for that Mighty Hawk Band, all in this month's District in 60 Seconds. Hawkettes and Adolphus Christmas Parade. For the second year in a row, the Hawkettes Stroll Team has received a special invitation to appear in the nationally televised Adolphus Children's Christmas Parade. The parade was held in early December, and once again, our Hawkettes did us proud, as they're announced by the reporters covering the parade on national television. Great job, Hawkettes! Project Success t-shirt winner announced. The official t-shirt for the Project Success Drug Education Program has been chosen, and the winning designers were Turner Clark and Jeremy Brody. The students will be given a special recognition at the annual Mr. and Mrs. Red Oak pageant to be held on February 19th. Congratulations, Turner and Brody, for your awesome design. Mighty Hawk Band does it again. Mr. Pease was once again proud to announce in recently held Area B band auditions that 2 Mighty Hawk Band members will be moving on as part of the All-State Band. Band members Vanessa Barrera and Chase Caruth both earned a chair in the 4A Texas All-State Band. Great job to all those Mighty Hawk Band members who took part in this competition. Reception to welcome new superintendent. Recently, Red Oak ISD officially welcomed Mr. Craig Stockstill, the new superintendent of Red Oak Schools, at a reception held in his honor at Eastridge Elementary. The event gave parents and community members a chance to speak with the new leader of Red Oak ISD. And that's your District in 60 seconds.
With a new year comes new challenges for our spring athletes to kick off 2005. We go to Hawkeye News sports anchor Brady Sapp to see what's happening in the world of Hawks and Lady Hawk sports. Brady?
Thanks, ladies. And we'll see how things have gone over the holidays for our Hawks and Lady Hawks varsity basketball teams, as well as checking in with sports reporters Robert Kent and Jared Ustry to find out what challenges are ahead for our boys and girls teams in district play. All this and much more on soccer and powerlifting coming up after a word from our sponsor.
This month's Hawkeye News Sports is brought to you by Danny Humphreys at State Farm.
Welcome back, Hawk sports fans. Let's talk sports. The boys and girls basketball teams have stayed pretty busy while the rest of us were kicking back and enjoying food and fun of the holiday season. While the win-loss records were not what the teams were looking for, the much-needed experience of varsity competition has been very helpful for both teams as they entered into district play. For more on the Hawks and Lady Hawks action, we go to Robert Kent and Jared Ustry, reporting from the Red Oak High School gym.
Thanks, Brady. The varsity boys and girls are working hard now in district play to continue the playoff string for the guys and hopefully to break the playoff drought for the girls.
That's right, Robert. The girls team got a great start in the opening district game against the Lady Panthers of Maybank before losing a close, hard-fought game to the Athens Hornets by a score of 49-44. In the opening game of district, the Lady Hawks hammered the Lady Panthers of Maybank by a final score of 43-17. Whoa! The Lady Hawks were led by sophomore Alicia Gray and junior Natasha Beiser, who both had 10 points in the win. Other Lady Hawks ringing the scoreboard were Holly Ridgway, who added 9 points, along with 9 from Ryan Ford, 6 from Amanda Selvey, and 2 each from Brittany Person and Amy Heffner. While the ladies were controlling the offensive side of the ball, there was no letdown at all on the defense as the Lady Hawks swarmed Maybank all night, causing multiple turnovers, which led to the Lady Hawks points. Coach Reed, after the game, stated she was very happy with the win, and all the girls played an outstanding game. This was an important win for the ladies, and with the close loss to Athens, the ladies find themselves at 1-1, with their next battle to take place in Lancaster against the defending district champs, Lady Tigers. The Lady Hawks went into Lancaster to make a statement, and a statement they made. They were once again led by Alicia Gray, who had a season-high 25 points. The ladies led start to finish and moved their record to 2-1 with a 53-39 win over Lancaster. The ladies have important games coming up at home in the first half against Corsicana and Ennis before air date, but after press time. We will bring you more next month. The district looks pretty even once again this year, but with much improved ball handling and defense, as well as several sharpshooters moving up from last year's JV squad, the Lady Hawks are looking for their first playoff trip in many years.
We're also looking forward to seeing just what the 2005 district play holds in store for our Hawks, as they will face some stiff competition from Lancaster, Corsicana, and several other contenders for one of the 3 playoff spots this year.
Coach Reed, Coach Zuniga, and Coach Henry seem to have the girls basketball at Red Oak on an upward swing, and we look forward to many wins in district play and hopefully beyond. Controlling the home court is important, so we encourage all the students to come out and support the Lady Hawks at home this season.
Coach Foster has been able to lead the Hawks to the playoffs for the past couple of years, and believes with the young guns coming up from the JV co-district champions of last year that the team has a great chance of postseason once again. This year the team got off to what some of the players call a disappointing start, as they entered district play with a 6-win and 13-loss record. While the scoreboard has not been what the team expected coming into this year, it is the hope of the Hawks that they have grown with a few strong seniors in Taylor Frizzell, Tony Fitzgerald, Ryan Cronkright, Nate Tyler, and Ryan Harris, now combining with the young guns of Zach Manison, Jonathan Edwards, Jeremy Brown, Aaron Moore, Tori Fernandez, Ellis Bailey, and sophomore Aaron Brewer and freshman Connor Frizzell, recently moved up from the JV, should make our Hawks into a legitimate playoff contender once again. Sophomore Cameron Hawkins will also be back for his second year of varsity action. He has gotten visibly more comfortable patrolling the lane. The Hawks have kicked off the district play against top 10 ranked Lancaster and fell by a score of 77-57. The Hawks have important games coming up before air date against Corsicana and Ennis on the road. We will bring you more on next month's show on the Hawks' road to the playoffs.
That's about it from here, Brady. As you can see, district play is getting underway behind us.
So we invite all our students to come out and support our Hawks and Lady Hawks this season. Reporting for Hawkeye News Sports, I'm Robert Kent.
And I'm Jared Ushery. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, guys, and the best of wishes to our Hawks and Lady Hawks teams this season. We will bring you much more on both teams in our February show. While basketball gets most of the fans and coverage in the local papers, another group of athletes that are working hard are the guys and girls powerlifting teams. This year, under the direction of Coach Brian Warner and with several returning team members from last year, they are looking to compete against the best in the area in the next couple of months. This year's girls team looks to be strong once again with seniors Joy Pruitt, along with varsity teammates Ashley Miranda, Kelly Osborne, Jessica Flores, and Christina Allen, all competing well in the first meet held in early January. Joy Pruitt placed first in her class with the 700-pound total weight. Ashley Miranda was third in her class, with Kelly Osborne placing fourth in her class. The team will compete in the Alvarado meet on January 22nd, and we will bring you the results in February. The boys are also working to improve their strong finish last year, as they will look to Evan Flores, Chase Davis, Brandon Adamczyk, Derek Foote, Jimmy Burden, and Joey Elich to compete for the district title this year. The team also recently competed in the Weatherford meet, with Flores coming in fourth in the class and Davis placing fifth. The other team members also did a great job and competed well. The boys, like the girls, will compete in Alvarado later in January, and we will update you on the results as well as taking a look ahead at the rest of the schedule next month. We will stay in touch with Coach Warner and Mrs. Stanglin to get updates on the team's progress next month. Our final sports cover this month is our boys and girls varsity soccer teams that will have a new look on the sidelines this year, as longtime coaches Austin Guest and Brent Stapleton have moved on to rival Midlothian Panthers soccer teams. Many of the seniors this year were part of the state championship team for the boys, and behind such strong players as Daniel Lopez, Matt Esparza, and many more returning starters should be ready to face off with district champions Midlothian, as well as other strong teams that they have their sights set on knocking our Hawks out of the playoffs. The Hawks will be under the leadership of Coach Kenneth Blevins this year. The Hawks warmed up this season by recently taking down a group of Red Oak High School alumni in an annual grudge match by the score of 5-0. At press time, the Hawks are 2-0 with big wins over MacArthur and DeSoto in the DeSoto tournament. While we are in the studio, the Hawks are still in the hunt for the tournament championship. In early action, the only negative for the Hawks is the devastating loss of senior Jackie Burns, who broke his leg in the game against DeSoto. Our best wishes go out to Jackie, and we know that his senior leadership will still be important to the team's success this year. The Hawks will be in action in the Duncanville tournament before air date, but after our filming date. So we will bring you more scores from this and the other Hawks soccer games in next month's show. The girls team has already run into a setback this season with the recent medical problems that have sidelined new coach Hank Baldwin. While Coach Baldwin is said to be recovering, the girls have to carry on and get ready for the season. With many of the returning players from last year's varsity squad, along with many other of last year's JV team, the ladies should have a great chance to once again be a strong unit by the beginning of the district schedule on January 25th against rival Midlothian. Just like the boys, the girls are in action in the Crowley tournament as we film our show, and are currently undefeated in the tournament. We will catch you up on their scores and highlights as well next month. As you can see, 2005 is here, and our Hawks and Lady Hawks are ready to battle the best teams in the area in basketball, powerlifting, and soccer this season. We will bring you much more from those sports, as well as the quickly approaching baseball, softball, track and field, and golf seasons in our February edition of Hawkeye News. Thanks to Mrs. Stanglin for providing us information from the athletic department, as well as the coaches and our great student athletes. We'll see you back next month. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Brady. This month, crime reporter J.D. Foster takes a statistical look back at the devastation drugs and alcohol has had on so many lives.
While New Year's is a time when so many make resolutions to lose weight, get in better shape, or start other positive habits, it should also be a new look at the rest of our lives for us as students. As always, we hope students take the time to listen to JD's reports to help them make a new commitment to living a longer and more productive life. JD?
So many times in our crime report segment, we take a look at our local drug or alcohol issues or an individual's personal story. We get so caught up in the numbers that we forget the real issues of how these drugs destroy people's lives.
This month's Drug and Crime Report is brought to you by the Bassett Firm, Texas Trial Attorneys.
Drug use in 2004 is on the decline. That's good news, but it is no cause for celebration yet. There are still millions of individuals still using drugs. Alcohol use in minors is also on the decline, but is still at an incredibly high level, with about 75% of teenagers reportedly having used alcohol at some point. But the bottom line is not how much progress we're making. It's the number of people still being hurt or killed by this serious issue. In 2004, 105,000 people died from alcohol-related causes. 24,600 died from drug-related causes. The statistics in this story are just that, numbers. And while they combine for an estimated 300,000 people affected by drugs and alcohol, they only begin to tell the story of how lives can be ruined. We hope our viewers take a deeper look and see if they can live with themselves becoming just another statistic. I'm J.D. Foster, Hawkeye News.
Thanks, JD. It's hard to believe that so many people just like us can hear these facts all the time and still make such negative, life-changing decisions. But choices is what life is all about, and we hope that this information helps our viewers make better choices for themselves in the future.
In a follow-up to a special report by our very own Camille Webster a few months ago, we are proud to announce that the DFW Metroplex also knows about Hawkeye News and the awesome story Camille did on Band of Brothers.
Camille and her mother Connie were contacted by NBC5 News to do a special report on the Band of Brothers story that aired on Hawkeye News. The story on Channel 5 showed Camille doing her opening for Hawkeye News and also included interviews with Miss Webster and Camille.
As many of you know, Camille's brother Josh, who is a Red Oak High School graduate, is serving his second term in Iraq. Channel 5 was very interested in this story and aired the show on the news during the Christmas holidays.
Being away from home during the holidays can be tough, but fighting a war in another country can test anyone's strength.
But a North Texas soldier has found a family away from home. Here's NBC5's Elise Morgan.
Josh Webster was back from his first tour of duty only a few weeks when he found out he'd be sent off again.
As a mother, it gave me great comfort to know that he had a group of friends there that had his back covered.
not just, spiritually, but also emotionally,
That support group is a faith-based one, a group of men that meet on his base every evening to talk, pray, and share what they're going through.
When you have a shared experience, you go through something together, nobody else knows what that's like unless, but that person that's with you, your battle buddy. And that's what they call it. They just call it their spiritual battle buddy.
Connie says her son needed that support after a number of close calls. He's also been deeply affected by his visits to wounded soldiers.
The first time he went, he just called home and just was very emotional. He just said it was a life-changing experience to see people who had parts of their body blown off, but yet they were so passionate about what they were doing and serving our country.
This is a subject that is very close to my heart because I have two brothers serving in the military.
This passion has spread to those back home. Josh's younger sister did a story about the Band of Brothers on her high school newscast.
Everybody's so negative about the war, and I just wanted somebody to see that something positive was coming out of it.
And a mother who sees the positive effects shining all the way back home.
Especially in the season that we're in right now, it just reminds you how blessed we are as a nation, how blessed we are as a family to have each other.
Elise Morgan, NBC5, Red Oak.
Great job, Camille. We continue to send our thoughts and prayers to Josh and all of the brave men and women serving in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Recently, we were told a heartwarming story from Wynne Elementary. Many of our students and faculty know Mrs. Leanne Brindle, who has been a writer and editor of the Chronicle newspaper for several years.
While we know what a great reporter Miss Brindle is, many of us did not know of her true passion, animals. This month, Hawkeye News reporter Camille Webster shows us how Miss Brindle's love for animals is also helping a special young man at Wynne Elementary. We go down to Camille to learn more about a young man named Andy and his new best friend, Ty. Camille?
Thanks, ladies. You're exactly right. This story is one that truly confirms that old saying, man's best friend, when talking about the love between humans and animals. This incredible story of how a large Great Dane can be trained to make life safer and much more enjoyable for one young man and his family. Ty is a therapy social assistance dog who is becoming a favorite of students and staff at Wooden Elementary. Andy is a student in Miss Chrisman's CBI class at Wooden Elementary who has become the lucky recipient of this wonderful gift. With the help of Miss Brindle, who has helped train Ty, Andy is able to move around the school and home without many of the limitations he once had. Andy sometimes has seizures, and with continued training, Ty may be able to alert Andy's teachers and parents of when these seizures are occurring. As a service dog, Ty will also be able to help keep Andy from wandering into danger areas such as outside of the school.
The idea came from Miss Chrisman. She's had Andy for several years in her class, 6 years. And she wanted Andy to have a companion, and she heard that I trained some service dogs. I've only trained for the hearing impaired, and I have a therapy dog, and I was bringing my therapy dog Thumper up here, and Andy was really responding. He's going to be a therapy social companion for Andy and an assistance dog. And Ty will be therapeutic in the classroom, plus doing certain things like helping Andy get to the lunchroom, keeping Andy from going outdoors. The reason I chose a Great Dane for Andy is because he's big and he's strong, and he can do the work for Andy that a smaller dog couldn't do. Andy's going to grow, and he needs somebody big. And a Great Dane really bonds with their people, and a Great Dane will lean into Andy, which is important. Andy will never probably handle Ty himself. So Miss Chrisman, his teachers, and his mother and father will be the ones that handle Ty, but Ty can bond with Andy through bonding with the mother and the teacher and get to know what they want. He's staying at Andy's house so that he can bond with the family.
He does smile a lot more. He's very responsive to Ty, and he hasn't been to other family dogs, just to this one. So that's really special. I think that, as a long haul, even if we don't get as many therapy issues as I would like, my other goal for him is to keep Andy safe. It's hard for Andy to understand that something would hurt him. He doesn't know, to stay away from moving cars or stay on curbs and things like that. So I want a dog to help him with that. And it's just also a kind of a relief for his mom that somebody else is watching out for him too. So that's kind of where we're hoping to go with Andy and Ty.
This wonderful young man now has a friend to help him find more security and safety in life, and to be a companion and a friend. We would like to thank Ms. Brindle not only for allowing us the time for this interview, but also for her dedicated work with animals who do so much for mankind. Thanks also to Ms. Chrisman for inviting us into her classroom, and to Andy and Ty, we send out our best wishes on a long and successful friendship. Reporting from Woodin Elementary, I'm Camille Webster, Hawkeye News.
One of the most enjoyable times for our news team came last year with the visit by last year's anchors Rachel Selvey, Christian Henson, and Brady Sapp to talk to the 4th grade students at Woodin Elementary about Hawkeye News and what it means to be leadership you can depend on.
In the second semester, we are once again setting up schedules for our news teams to visit classes around Red Oak ISD.
Mr. Oliver and Chief Lindsay will be working with classroom teachers in elementary and intermediate to set up visits from some of the cast members of this year's Hawkeye News Show. The news team will talk to the students about leadership, answer questions about how the show works, as well as signing photographs of the news team. It is our hope that students will become interested in becoming a part of the Hawkeye News team in years to come as they approach junior high and high school.
Part of being a news team member requires good citizenship, all grades passing, being a positive role model for younger viewers. Visits will begin in late January or early February, so if you're an elementary or intermediate teacher and would like a visit from some of the members of the news team, contact Chief Lindsay's office.
We appreciate the opportunity to bring you the good news around Red Oak ISD each month and look forward to being in a classroom in your school in the coming weeks ahead.
It's been called one of the most entertaining nights of the year. The Red Oak Project Success Drug Education Program once again will try to pack the Red Oak High School cafetorium for this year's 2005 Mr. and Mrs. Red Oak pageant.
Last year's pageant was one of the best in history according to pageant chairperson Becky Packer. The pageant featured 4 men and 4 women vying for the crown of Mr. and Mrs. Red Oak. The pageant, as those in attendance know, was not a serious event, but is a fun-filled night of laughs to help raise money for Project Success scholarships for our seniors. Last year's pageant included the 2004 Mr. Red Oak and Red Oak Junior High teacher Mr. Danny Elvis Rowland. Mrs. Red Oak 2004 was Mrs. Lori Wonder Woman Schuster, who continued the Woodin Elementary dominance. Each contestant did a fantastic job, and the overflow crowd was rocking all night long. The real winners were all the seniors who received Project Success scholarships at the end of the year. The 2004 pageant raised over $4,000 and was the most profitable in history, much to the efforts of Mrs. Becky Packer, who coordinated the entire event again this year.
Contestants who have signed up for the 2005 pageant are Miss Katrina Knight, who will represent Red Oak Junior High, Miss Tina Robinson, who will represent Woodin Elementary, Miss Tracy Pitts, who will represent Eastridge Elementary, Miss Tammy Stewart, who will represent Shields Elementary, and the lone male contestant at press time is Mr. Dustin Taylor, who will also represent Woodin. Pageant coordinators are still looking for a few good men, so everyone is urged to come out and support Project Success and enjoy what should be a great show. The theme for this year's pageant is Moving in America, and you can bet students and adults who attend will have lots to move to this year. Tickets are $5 for adults and only $3 for students, and you can purchase tickets at the door. Several groups will be performing during intermissions from several of our schools.
You can come early and enjoy some of those world-famous Herman Riojas fajitas and a concert by Mrs. Amy Douglas beginning at 5:30.
The pageant starts at 7, and once again a full house is expected, so come early and enjoy the 2005 Mr. and Mrs. Red Oak pageant held Saturday, February 19th at the Red Oak High School cafetorium.
Before we go, we wanted to ask, did you figure out who those class of 2005 students were from their 6th grade year shown earlier in our show?
Well, if you didn't know, they were Leandra Coffey, Chase King, Ricky Horn, and our very own Robert Kent.
Stay tuned next month to see what familiar faces you might see in our February show.
That does it for this edition of Hawkeye News. Remember, if you would like to contact us, you can give us a call at 972-617-4312, or you can write us at hawkeyenews@redoakisd.org, or you can also go online and see us at myvtv.com.
I'm Natalie Hillary.
And I'm Christian Henson. Thanks for watching, and until next time, make it a great day.